Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, I want to talk to you about what you can do, as I mentioned before, to remove yourself from the federal and state tax system. Now, many of you from all around the country have inquired saying, how do you do this? Well, folks, I'm going to teach this coming Tuesday at retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. And let me teach you what Roger from the great state of Colorado took away. So, I'm looking at the fact that I'm staring down the barrel of taxation. We find that predominantly, folks, the majority of clients that we work with, really disciplined, strong savers in traditional 401ks and IRAs. My question, as it was with Roger, is how do I avoid what's going to be an onslaught of an enormous amount of taxes? Now, the sad part is Roger sees the writing on the wall. A lot of people that we meet, until we go through what we call kind of their tax risk road that they're traveling, they have no idea how much tax that they're staring at today's tax rates. Obviously, taxes are going to change. They're going to change very quickly. When you pour $10 trillion into spending, and we now are hearing that the deficit's going to jump from $31.5 trillion to $46 trillion over the next 7 years, and now there's all kinds of additional spending being put on the table, folks. The writing is on the wall. Well, what I want to ask you, and this is what Roger learned himself, is how do you protect yourself? How do you make yourself immune to the IRS, to the stock market, and how do you profit handsomely from when there's really good gains, but you don't experience the downside losses, but you can do that while your money grows without tax, you can access it and use it without tax, and you can safely transfer it to your family without tax. Well, folks, I'm going to teach the Roth Alternative Safe Money Funds this coming Tuesday. Now, that's one solution. But if you want to learn how to get money untaxed, and I think it's important, especially with all this runaway inflation. See, a lot of people that assume the tax rates may not get that bad don't realize that inflation is one of the largest impacts to taxation, right? Because everything costs more, we've got to take out more, right, to get to that net higher needed number now that pay for goods, gas, groceries, et cetera. Well, just this past week, folks, we've seen that on the wholesale level, the producer price index came out 6% higher January over January. And we saw earlier in the week that consumer price index, right, you and I, what we basically pay is up 6.5% from January to January. But we all know that anybody does any grocery shopping, puts gas in their cars, et cetera, inflation is way more than that. And so what's happening is the government's not only manipulating taxes, but it's also manipulating the inflation numbers. They actually just came out this week and talked about how they're lowering the bar, because if you can't stop the Fed from raising rates, you can manipulate the numbers that are being reported in regards to the inflation that they have to base their rate raising off of. And so they're lowering the bar on housing and on gasoline, because the gas is going to, literally spark. You're going to see gas prices go up because they typically go up in the spring. Folks, the time to protect yourself is right now. Learn how to make yourself immune. Make your retirement accounts immune, your taxes immune from the IRS. Get your retirement and your legacy away, right, from Uncle Sam. And let me teach you that the sooner you do that, right, deferred taxes equal increased taxes. So the longer it takes, the more you'll pay. And the longer it takes, the more we expose ourselves to higher tax rates. This is the number one thing that many of you, those of you that are within a few years of retirement, those of you a few years into retirement, or those of you that have been traveling down this retirement road for a while are saying, look, taxes are a concern, taxes are impacting me. And our philosophy is simple. We address the taxes first. To teach you, which I'll teach you Tuesday, how to get more return with less risk or even eliminate risk is wonderful. But not addressing the taxes just sets you up for more tax exposure. Folks, you work hard for your money. Go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. And imagine less stress, less worry, less taxation, less inflation, and making yourself, your retirement, and your taxes immune to the federal government and to the market. Remove yourself from taxes, folks. You can do it. Retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com.